The year is 1773, and America is a few years away from claiming independence still. The location is the New England area, and specifically the Boston Harbor. A Boston shoemaker named George Hewes is about to discuss the events that he participated in on the night of December 16, 1773, referred to today as the Boston Tea Party. Welcome back to History in Their Words, where we explore history through the eyes of those who witnessed or participated in it. I'll now pass it over to George to get things started.
The tea destroyed was contained in 3 ships, lying near each other at what was called at that time Griffin's Wharf. On the day before the 17th, there was a meeting of the citizens of the county of Suffolk. When the committee returned and informed the meeting of the absence of the governor, there was a confused murmur among the members, and the meeting was immediately dissolved, many of them crying out, "Let every man do his duty, and be true to his country." It was now evening, and I immediately dressed myself in the costume of an Indian, equipped with a small hatchet. After having painted my face and hands with coal dust in the shop of a blacksmith, I repaired to Griffin's Wharf, where the ships lay that contained the tea. When I first appeared in the street after being thus disguised, I fell in with many who were dressed, equipped, and painted as I was, and who fell in with me and marched in order to the place of our destination. When we arrived at the wharf, we were immediately ordered by the respective commanders to board all the ships at the same time, which we promptly obeyed. We were then ordered by our commander to open the hatches and take out all the chests of tea and throw them overboard, and we immediately proceeded to execute his orders, first cutting and splitting the chests with our tomahawks so as thoroughly to expose them to the effects of the water. In about 3 hours from the time we went on board, we had thus broken and thrown overboard every tea chest to be found in the ship, while those in the other ships were disposing of the tea in the same way at the same time. We were surrounded by British armed ships, but no matter was made to resist us.
A quick pause on the story here. It seems there's always someone looking to profit or take advantage of a situation. And at this time, the Tea Party was no exception. Here's what George says about those individuals trying to do that.
During the time we were throwing the tea overboard, there were several attempts made by some of the citizens of Boston and its vicinity to carry off small quantities of it for their family use. To effect that object, they would watch their opportunity to snatch up a handful from the deck, where it became plentifully scattered, and put it into their pockets. One Captain O'Connor, whom I well knew, came on board for that purpose, and when he supposed he was not noticed, filled his pockets and also the lining of his coat. We were ordered to take him into custody, and just as he was stepping from the vessel, I seized him by the skirt of his coat. He had to run a gauntlet through the crowd upon the wharf, 9 each one, as he passed, giving him a kick or a stroke. The next morning, after we had cleared the ships of the tea, it was discovered that very considerable quantities of it were floating upon the surface of the water, and to prevent the possibility of any of its being saved for use, a number of small boats were manned by sailors and citizens, who rowed them into those parts of the harbor wherever the tea was visible, and by beating it with oars and paddles so thoroughly drenched it as to render its entire destruction inevitable.
The Boston Tea Party has become one of America's founding events. Was George Hewes a catalyst for liberty, or was he a vigilante? As with most things in history, it depends on your perspective. England certainly viewed the Tea Party differently than the colonists in New England. And this viewpoint was George's, and its history in his words. Thanks for watching.